Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. There's still lots in the news, but of course, Canada's inflation rate came out yesterday at 3.2%. It was expected at 3, which would have been a surprise there all by itself, but another 0.2. I didn't get into too much of the details here, but yeah, I thought I would just throw in this comparison. Keir Starmer got forced to resign. Mark Carney is still holding on to his seat, and it it just baffles the mind. Differences of this whole liberal governments. Um, yeah, Kate has some good things to say here. Just kind of put some reality back into it, even though. Um,
Kate, I just wanted your thoughts on this. Like, this is a G7 country that at one point ruled the world, and to be on their seventh leader in 10 years, it is a remarkable string of unmanageable politics post-Brexit. What do you make of what we're seeing there?
Yeah, no, it's a very volatile time in UK politics, in Western politics more generally. But I do think there are a few kind of key lessons in this for our Prime Minister. Obviously, the dangers of the unity question is one of those things, and he spoke to that himself in terms of talking about Western alienation. But it's inflation as a government slayer. Ultimately, I think Mr. Starmer really struggled, and his predecessor struggled to get a handle on the cost of living crisis and the affordability crisis. So that is ultimately what sees government succeed or fail, is the ability to address those pocketbook issues. And with today's inflation news, I think it's a potential warning for our Prime Minister that domestic issues are really what drives voters to the ballot box.
Right. Though the inflation news, to be fair, is heavily driven by foreign news, right? In what's happening
vegetable
in the Strait of Hormuz.
Vegetable prices, though, are up significantly. They're the highest rate of inflation on vegetables since 2008. So people are certainly feeling the pain.
Yeah, he needs to be corrected. The CBC, the Corruption Broadcasting Corporation. So you can just see here the rate of change. U.S. judge blocks Trump administration SNAP restrictions on soda candy. Just ridiculous. That they're going to block this. Like anyway, Chuck Benner. I talked about this yesterday, and Chuck he managed to put in some very good graphics, so you can actually see the rainfall deficit versus what you need basically to grow a crop in India. And 40 drowned in France as people seek relief from Europe's heat wave. Brian Comeau actually had a pretty good YouTube yesterday talking about how it's affecting some of the crops. It's at later season or end of the season, so I don't know how much it's going to affect other than just dry it down as well. But people are dying over there. UK government plans new rules to tackle illegal forestation. I'm sure the climate people are going to, alarmists are going to say that that heat wave is because of deforestation in other parts of the world. Well, it just looks like Europe is the one that's getting the heat wave, nowhere else. So obviously, you can put in rules to not buy products from other parts of the world, I guess, and you can see if that continues to play that whole woe is me scenario. Just accumulated rainfall for the last 3 days here. You can see the 2.2 inches of rain in Alberta area. There's some localized flooding down in the U.S. here as well. Localized, but it's significant damage. You can see the weather here. We're just going to play total precipitation going forward here. And you can see that it starts to build quite a bit in central Saskatchewan. So it in the tune of like 5 some inches and 4 inches in over the next 2-week period here. Quick look at the market here. Canola is up still $1.90. Soybean oil is down at 71.03. Palm oil is down as well. Crude oil is down at $1.75 at 74. Soybeans are just up slightly, and spring wheat down 1 penny. Hard red winter is down a penny. Chicago is up 2 pennies. Corn is up 2 cents as well, and the Canadian dollar is still down again. Feeder cattle and live cattle are just basically mixed. So I just wanted to measure the difference between the canola changes that we've seen from the peak to basically the low that we saw a couple of days ago or on Friday, and you can see that it's 9.73% drop, and the Canadian dollar has been probably doing some of the extra legwork here, And if you did this in US dollars, it's 11.55% drop. So you see the difference. The Canadian dollar has actually supported the pricing by a couple percent. So a couple percent on $700 and some dollar canola is significant. We will drag canola to crushers for a couple percent difference in dockage. So a couple percent in price is the same thing. Rapeseed, you can see it pulled back up, and that could be that heat wave that's actually helping push that market as well. Soybean oil, basically just trading sideways, but has not went as low as it did on Thursday last week. Soybean futures still tracking sideways, but trading above the short-term moving average, caught in between here. Your palm oil has retraced back off of that channel that I have there. It didn't trade through it. Here's the crude oil, and I just put in the actual gap here, so it's got probably another $2 to just get into the gap. $3 would clear the gap, I guess. The gap on your heating oil, it's quite a ways down here before you can get to that gap there, and a long ways for gasoline. But you got to remember, you got diesel fuel seasonality is usually stronger, and gasoline in the summer driving season. So it may take until fall before we ever see those markets actually get to those values to fill that gap. Canadian dollar continues to leak lower. Looks like we're going to go into that direction still, and that's just making everything in Canada more expensive. Everything is basically priced in US dollars. So as the inflation keeps on ticking up and the Canadian dollar falling down, it's going to continue putting pressure on inflation, food inflation, you name it, everything. Fertilizer is all priced in US dollars, even though the fertilizer prices have come down. The Canadian dollar falling apart, we're not seeing the same effect, right? Because we're paying in US dollars, and it's just getting more and more expensive. Quick look at wheat. So if you look at September, and I think I talked about this before, we actually made a new low, still trading sideways. But when you look at it on the December, which most of the grain is going to be priced on, it basically retraced off of that low. So hopefully we can hold here, because Kansas and Chicago both did that same bounce and trading higher so far. European rapeseed or European Matif wheat, green day yesterday, and we're trading at the 20-day moving average. Here's your corn, still not wanting to get out of this funk on this low side here. The cattle on feed came out on Monday, and it was kind of mixed results, but it is actually somewhat bullish, I think. Just for placements but we'll have to see how it continues to play out here. Live hogs here, a little bit of a recovery over the last week, but it's if anything, it looks like we should be looking at maybe going long on